Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. You are welcome once again to Wake Up with me. My name is Femi. And if this is your first time of seeing any of my videos, you are welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you all, my subscribers, and those of you that are just coming in for the first time, you are very welcome. All my A1 day ones, I love you all. Yeah, today's video is going to be quite different. I just want to talk to us about something, a topic that has stirred a lot of controversy. It has stirred a lot of attention on the internet. And I'm talking about the expose of a pastor, of a prophet, of a teacher whose name is TB Joshua. I titled this video TB Joshua Exposed, a cautionary tale of spiritual and religious maltreatment. You can call it abuse. Now, many of you might have heard, the recent BBC news exposing the founder of one of the world's biggest evangelical churches. The church is called Squan. This story I'm about to tell you is not just about one man, but it is a reflection of a larger issue that affects many unsuspecting individuals in religious and spiritual communities. And while I also I'm going to be sharing videos from the BBC documentary, and I will be talking to us about signs of spiritual and religious abuse, how you should recognize them. A lot of people are in bondage. And like I will always say, go for yourself. I, for one, right now in my life, I am not a churchgoer. I am a child of God. I am spiritual. I believe that Jesus Christ came to die for my sins. I believe that he's able to save everybody as long as you believe in him, right? And a whole lot of beautiful things. I have my own personal testimony of how he saved me while I was yet a Muslim. And I've also had spiritual experiences that the Lord miraculously took me out of. I'm saying this because a lot of people fall prey to spiritual abuse because they are looking for solutions to their problem. They're looking for miracles, let me put it like that. And if you are looking for a miracle, you will definitely find miracles. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. How do you search for miracles? You search for miracles by you having a personal relationship with God. By you reading the word, there's miracles that happen. The miracle of transformation of your mindset. That's a miracle. The miracle of believing God to change your situation, even as you take your steps. That is a miracle. We'll go into that. So, yeah. The BBC investigation, actually brought to light a series of alarming allegations against this man called TB Joshua, ranging from abuse to physical assault to even much more disturbing claims. All of these accusations spans more than 2 decades because honestly, growing up as a Nigerian myself, I've heard about him, and there was one memory that came back. Every time I hear of TB Joshua, I recall something on a radio show called Inkombe. If you're a Yoruba person, you're a Nigerian, you're watching me, you might have come across that programs in the late 80s, early 90s. The owner of this show wasn't a Christian, but knew that this man was using diabolical witchcraft powers, invited him on the show, challenged him, and 1 week later, that he invited TB Joshua on his show, challenged him. 1 week later, the person handling this radio show was gone, out of this life. A whole lot of things happened. So, like I said, these accusations spanned more than 2 decades, and it paints a grim picture of what really happens behind closed doors. Friends, don't put yourself in a position where you are being spiritually and religiously abused. It can be subtle and very hard to detect. We'll explore some of these tactics used by such leaders. Let's keep going. Let me share some of the disturbing videos with you. Some of the claims, some, yeah. Let's watch this. I'll react to
people. He humiliates people so much. TB Joshua liked to humiliate people. He humiliates people so much. One day, I called him. I said, "Daddy, why are you so angry like this?" He laughed. He said, "I know what I'm doing." It will put fear in the disciples.
He was really violent.
He used humiliation. He used fear. He treated people without respect. If you find yourself in that situation where your pastor or your teacher or your religious whoever uses control like that, uses violence, uses humiliation to put fear in you, you are in the wrong place. Let's keep going.
Speak about these things. There was no safe place. There was no friend. There's nobody you could go to and say, "Oh my God, this happened. I saw this." You'd be terrified. He made everybody your enemy and you everybody else's enemy.
He was using the divide and conquer rule so that you cannot talk. If you have read the 48 laws of power, you know where this man is coming from. He's using the divide and conquer rule. So you put everybody against one another, so they see you as the only person that they can go to. When they don't have anywhere to go to, then they have nothing else but to submit to you.
I know what it is to be poor.
Yeah, that he used to abuse these women. He's the one that crafted.
So these people that are recounting these incidences, they are called his disciples. So he brings them in. His target is young people and then people who are ill. So he brings the young people in and makes them disciples, turns them into his slaves. For the women, he begins to sleep with them. And let's just keep going.
The building of his apartment. He designed it. The whole building was just designed to keep secret. Multiple doors, multiple entries and exits. The staircase you can use to get to his 5-story was like 4. I call a lady, "Prophet wants to see you." He will tell you the specific staircase that this person should come.
He would always tell you which entrance to take, which door to get into.
Can you imagine? He was sleeping with them and using them for spiritual witchcraft. And he used to demand basically for virgins, girls in their teens, what he was doing was that when he sleeps with them, he disvirgins them. The bed sheet, it takes it to a place he calls is a prayer mountain. That's where he has a lot of his voodoo, black magic, witchcraft stuff that he does. And then he uses it to hold them captive, uses it to increase his powers because he needs blood to increase his powers. Let's keep going.
Show other people the right way.
There was a system in
He started having massive events for people that had got disabilities, wheelchair-bound people. He'd give them rice, he'd give them food. And there was like this massive show.
Faked miracles and massive show of community work, good work, in quote.
Of generosity.
We're going to put the first tents up on this flat area. We're going to put communities inside, children, old people.
10,000 US dollars from Prophet TB Joshua and Emmanuel TV.
His shield was his message. This mass outworking of charity to cover who he really was.
Nothing is as strong as love. Spoken from the heart. I love you.
Friends, beware. Beware of the fakes. Beware of the fakes because they are everywhere. But if you do not have spirit of discernment, tell God, show me where you want me to worship. And if you have not found anywhere to worship, don't feel terrible. Don't feel terrible that you haven't found a place to worship. Rather, go to God for yourself. Sit down and ask God, I want to worship you. You can worship him in your house. There's God everywhere. There is God everywhere. Everywhere you are, there is God. It's not by force that you should go to church. Although the Bible says, do not forsake the gathering of the brethren. So before you go anywhere, you need to ask God, is this where you want me to go? How do you want me to navigate it? And if your spirit is not comfortable, stay in your house. God will speak to you in your house. God will deliver you in your house. I don't know who I'm speaking to that needs to hear this. This is a time where you need to hold your God strong. Go for yourself. Now it is an individual race. All these men of God that you put on the pedestal, remember, they were first human beings. They were first men before they became the men of God, so-called men of God. This is a period where people are being exposed for who they really are. Nobody is perfect, we do understand. But people are being exposed. And like the Bible always says, exposure, judgment starts from the church. Recall in one of my videos, I said, this is a period of great harvest, abundance. So if you have sown negativity, you are going to reap it big time. And a lot of people are beginning to even reap it in after they had gone. Some things come to tell me that I think he purposely took his life because he's gone now. He left the earth in 2021, June. I think he did that on purpose. Maybe he committed the big S. I would continue to share with us. But I did this video just to teach us some things. I wanted to teach us, to show us some signs that you are being spiritually abused. Some signs that you are being spiritually abused. This man was using generosity, social corporate responsibility. He was doing good, giving people money, sending people to school. just so that the press would have something good to project about him. He had the press in his hand. He had so much money. He had so much connection that he even had presidents coming to his synagogue for prayers. There was a lot of fake miracles. For those of you that are looking for miracles, whatever you look, you will find. This is a time where you need to take your spirituality very, very seriously. It is a personal journey, friends. It is a personal journey. Let's
Be
go
there.
ahead.
All is in my mind is, where is he now? Has he eaten?
Perhaps kings.
People compare his 5-story brothers to be his personal slave because everything he needs, you must be there.
He had
All is in my mind is, where is he now? Has he eaten? Has he taken his bath? Is his shower ready?
You have to be there in his privacy. If I can use the word, even to the nudity.
What?
You see everything.
When Tim Joshua needs to go to toilet, two of us has to be there in the toilet. He would remove his underwear to his knee level. Then we bring it down. We don't allow him to bend down.
There was a lot of strange things behind closed doors.
His underwears, you know, he wears white. Most times he pours this honey. He will pour it inside his pants, inside his underwear. He will pour it there.
What in the world? Did you hear that? Lord have mercy.
When he pours those honey there, he wears the underwear.
And I was like, what's the significance of this?
Why is he doing this?
There's a witch doctor here.
Pictures, we pour it on the floor. His own picture is not there. His wife picture is not there. It's only the disciples.
He will wear a red garment, plain red. The garment is long down to his ankle. And he will hold a sword in his hand. Those pictures, he will place the sword directly on the face. It will be pierced through and it will be pinned down there.
They are in bondage, spiritually and physically. This is what you have done to people. Ilé ayé gbóná mọ́ wọn. Wọn mọ nǹkan tán lè ṣe mọ́ wọn mọ bí tán lọ. Wọ́n wà ní àhámọ́.
He just move around his prayer room and he move in an anti-clockwise way.
Holding this sword, going around, oh Lord, forgive us, oh Lord, forgive us, oh Lord, forgive us. Have mercy on us, have mercy on us.
I've never seen this kind of thing before. Everything about his prayer room is photos. People's photo. And I can tell you, they are mostly ladies.
What he did was all intentional. He was doing all those sexual activities for something spiritual.
Satan knows everything that people cannot know. TB Joshua is not any man of God. He's man of evil.
These are accounts coming from people who worked directly with him. People who were his assistants, the ones who were with him, even to the point of him having his bath. Why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video to share with you some signs for you to know some signs of spiritual or religious abuse. Number one, authoritarian leadership. That is one clear sign. When you are in a place, in a church or in a spiritual setting or wherever, or a community, if the leader exerts excessive control, demands unquestioning obedience, and discouraged independent thinking, you may be in spiritual and religious abuse. Another one is manipulative tactics. When you are guilt tripping and gaslighting these people. One of the accounts I watched is he would tell the ladies, you are promiscuous. So because you are promiscuous, I have to deliver you, making them feel guilty and making them see him as their only source of salvation. Leaders or members who use these tactics to coerce people to compliance are likely perpetrating spiritual abuse. Now, he also isolated these people from their families, took their phones, isolated them from the outside world, from family and friends or other support network. If you find yourself in this kind of situation and they call it a spiritual place or a religious house, you are in a cult and you are being abused spiritually and religiously. Right? These are signs. Anywhere you are, whether it's a prayer group, whether it's an online prayer group, and they are telling you that your mother or your father is this, or you should leave that place and come and be in a place for 2 years, seclude yourself from. Please go and watch the video, the full documentary. One of the ladies, one of the British ladies, she said he told her to seclude herself for 2 years, and she almost committed a big S just because she was looking for salvation. Salvation is not this difficult, friends. All you need to do is believe. You don't need another human being to put you through. When you have the Holy Spirit, when they begin to exploit your finances, run. When they tell you that you have to pay tithe every day, you have to pay tithe every month. I'm still going to share about tithe paying. That is not how God said we should pay tithe. What we have right now is not what we are supposed to be doing. Some of you are being financially abused in your spiritual or religious setting. Friends, it's time for you to go for yourself. How did I know this? One day I was reading my Bible and I found out the right way to tithe. And I began to shed tears because I had been exploited financially. Because I know how much of my hard-earned money I had put in so-called paying of tithe. Friends, you need to open your eyes. This is not the time to sleep. This is a time for you to wake up to what's really going on. When you are forced to conform, when they force you to conform to specific beliefs and practices, oh, you must not marry outside of the church. Oh, you must not do this. You must not do that. And then you cannot express yourself. If you do express yourself, you'll be punished. There were accounts of him flogging his members just because they asked questions, just because they asked for clarification, just because they were trying to stand up against what was unjust. Even his daughter, I will share a video. I will share that video with you as well. There's also the account of emotional blackmail. These are signs. When they also suppress your critical thinking, these are signs that you are being spiritually and religiously abused. I will stop this video here because it's becoming too long. I will do another separate video where I begin to talk about different things. With that, I will say thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something. This is the time for you to go for yourself and ask God, what direction do you want me to do? I would share my own story with you as well. If this is your first time here, please do, and you are drawn to this channel, please do well to subscribe. I love you all. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.